So today I tried glass painting. Actually, I tried it a week ago. A week ago, I tried glass painting.
This all starts about 2 months ago. I was scrolling aimlessly through YouTube Shorts. Actually, yeah, who was I kidding? I was scrolling through TikToks we uploaded on YouTube when I came across these videos on glass painting.
Well, glass painting, for those who don't know, is a painting on a sheet of glass.
More specifically, glass painting is when you would draw your design with the Sharpie on the front of the glass, then you would flip it over to spot some paint on the back, then creating beauty when you flip it over onto the front.
It seemed pretty simple, and I wanted to try it out.
So I went to the dollar store to get supplies because my old paint that is now its own slimy entity wasn't going to cut it. And I didn't go to the actual craft store because what would usually happen is I would walk in, plan to buy 3 things, then 2 hours later I would end up with 47 other things I didn't need in my cart. Therefore, to get a step closer to not being poor, I decided to go to the dollar store and hope that the paint there isn't shirt. Ooh. Funny enough, it was really good paint considering it's from the dollar store, but that's besides the point. Also, I didn't mention this yet, but I'm painting this. I could have painted anything,
but I wanted to paint something that I understood, felt a connection with, if you will. And I thought it'd be cool if I ever felt this way in public to just go like.
I'm kidding. I would never do that. In school, at least. Anyway, it's time I finally started this project by literally just rubbing a paper towel on the dusty glass. I got this from that one 5-minute tutorial I watched. They said it would make painting easier. I don't really know. I'm just trying not to fail here. Then it was time I started to draw my design in Sharpie. I'm not too good at drawing, so I just traced from a printed out version. Did I still mess it out somehow? Yes, but that's what rubbing alcohol is for. After I added my outlines, I soon after started to paint the red part of Thomas. I was a determined, unstoppable force in nature. Nothing could stop me! No, you fool, what are you doing? You're not a TikToker, you don't even own TikTok! Here's the painting after 1 coat of paint. It was quite apparent that I was going to need more coats.
Also, I went over the lines a lot, but I just told myself, we'll deal with it later, because I mean, like, this isn't a huge deal or anything. It would have further repercussions. Psh.
After I almost blew my lips off blowing this wet paint, I went at it again with a 2nd coat of paint, then the 3rd, until it was time for this thing I like to call sleep. This is what happens when you start a project in the late afternoon. Bah! Hey, does anyone remember that paint going over the lines issue? Well, I'll be honest, this is really, really messy. This is not the beauty that the TikToks were promising me. So I just got the idea of just using a bunch of toothpicks and just scraping it off and hoping it doesn't scratch the glass. Let's hope it works. Then came the endless scratching off paint. This took longer than painting. It ended up creating a whole nother issue. Working. That one section looking less nasty. Actually, I am really scraping off that Sharpie. This is not what the TikTok showed me. Look, all the Sharpie, it's going bye-bye. Oh wait, I just realized I have a bunch of Sharpie things on my thumb. I think I'm like, maybe I should be more careful when I'm flipping it over. Yeah, you should have passed me. Then while in the process of scratching off the excess paint, I started to question things. A lot of contemplating was going on, I'll be honest. Actually, do people even like make Thomas episodes anymore? I don't even know. They probably stopped years ago and I'm just over here like, I think it's still going. The real questions everybody wants to know. Well, that, and probably a bunch of other things. I sound like I am on Amazon truck when they go backwards. When the Amazon when the Amazon trucks go backwards, they make this like sound very loudly, and it sounds like, I was gonna say a duck, but I'm not sure if that's like, I think it's a duck. Anyway, it sounds like a duck, and they always like on the one part near me, like they always have to go backwards, so I end up like just hearing that out of nowhere and thinking there's some angry ducks nearby. Anyway, I finally finished the scraping and had many things of paint invading my desk, but at least I was done with the red. Next came another coat of Sharpie because the one wasn't enough. Then it was time to conquer the blue, Thomas's most notable color. I had to get this right, that's why I tried 2 different blues to test which one is the most correct. I first tested the lighter blue. The color on the bottle made this one seem closer to Thomas's color, but I was very incorrect. So very incorrect. Child Thomas. If Thomas had a child, this would be his color combo. So after a quick removal, I went to the only other blue I had, hoping it was truly gonna work. It's Emo Thomas. Emo Raging Thomas! Honestly speaking, this color blue was a bit darker than the color in the picture, but it was good enough for me. I swiftly gave Thomas his new paint job, cleaned him up a bit, then the new blue was complete. Wait, did I forget a line? Wait, I think I forgot a line. Okay, so day 3 was all about those little details on the front of the train. Funny enough, I lost my black paint, so I had to improvise. Guess we're going brown. I could also mix my brown and my silver. See how that looks. Did I ever use this brown? Everything's A-okay. Okay, thankfully that's not sludge. Okay. Bad news is, after a good mix, it still looked like normal brown, so I decided to add more silver. Okay, so I may have added too much silver, but I continued to mix because I had nothing else to lose. Except a lot of paint, but still. Sadly, it still ended up to look like shiny shirts, but I just used normal brown. Then, like the impatient hare and the tortoise in the hare I right away started on the little details. There was no time to waste. I embodied my inner cheetah. Soon after, I also decided to start on the little white bell looking thing. If this experience is teaching me anything, it is that I really should learn about the different parts of the train. This sounds nice. This paint, it's not, look at this. It's like my other paint. It's just more slimy. Then soon after getting really disappointed with the dollar store's white paint. I mean, what is that? I paid $1 for this and I get this? My conclusion was just to shake it off. Shake it off. Actually, no, my conclusion was to indeed just mix it up a bunch. But fun fact, none of it worked. It just made sludge still. Do I have more white paint? Alas, after a good eon of searching, I sadly did not come across any white paint. But don't worry, I came up with a backup plan. 2 things I can do. 1, I can use this tan paint. Or 2, I can also color that gray and just say it was a mistake. At the end of the day, I chose to go with the beige paint. Then I painted throughout the night. Actually, I didn't do that. Who do you think I am? I like my sleep. The following day, I found my black. It was next to the Coke. How dare it! So the real question is now, do I get rid of the brown and replace it with the black, or do I just continue with brown? Do I continue with the brown, or do I scrape it all off and go with black? You know what, I'm going to continue with brown. So I continue with the brown, swift as a gazelle, but also neat as a bee. Actually, what am I talking about neatness? Literally 2 minutes ago, I had to scrape off my excess paint that I crossed the line with because of how bad I am at painting. Oh, and I also did the beige. I don't know. That show is very confusing. It really is. It just, like, who woke up one day and decided, let's put faces on trains and make them talk and it will be a kid's show? Who decided? I'll be honest, if I Google it, I'll probably figure it out. Oh, that fell. Oh, but I'm Googling it anyway. I'm so great at camera work. Created by Wilbert Audrey. Wilbert Audrey, Christopher Audrey. Designed by L.B. Billington. People also ask, what inspired Thomas the Tank Engine? Yes. Many of the stories and trains from the series were inspired by real-life events from this very deduction. Wait, real-life events? Could trains always talk? I never saw a train in real life. Do they talk? Also, that, like, beige I was using, it's, like, has bubbles. Is it possible you can see? There's, like, bubbles. If my camera was not, like, terrible, maybe you can see it. I don't think you can. Get better, iPad. Oh, I just flipped it over down and... Oh. You know what? It's fine. It just never happened, and everything is good. Everything is fine. I'm gonna go wash off my hand now. Look, Thomas. Can you just please dry? I do not want to wait here any longer. I want to paint, and finish today, because I've been working on this for, like, what now? 3 days? I don't know. I lost track. I'm crazy. I think you hit a new low whenever you talk to your painting. So after some bargaining on my painting, I decided to flap it so it was the consistency of a desert. That probably doesn't make any sense. I mean dry. But I seriously can't believe, like, are all those people on TikTok so good at painting, or have, like, the smallest paintbrush in the world, that they all perfectly got in between the lines and didn't need to fix it up at all? Even the YouTube tutorial, am I literally the only one that's like, I went over the lines. Now I need a toothpick and I need to scrape it off for 20 minutes so it looks nice. Apparently. I'm really salty about this. Oh, bye-bye toothpick. I shouldn't really be salty about this, but I am. Following, I then toothpicked my past proclaimed neatness. Then, oh, guess what? That made me finish with the details, and I was hungry for a finished painting, so I without a doubt speeded to start silver. Aren't these seriously the best hyperboles I could come up with? Probably. I'm not personally the literature folk. I like my STEM. But I digress because the silver is too annoying to now talk about. Look how thin that is. Usually it's way thicker for the first layer, but this is like ridiculously thin. Thomas has no more mouth. He doesn't speak no more. He just has angry eyes. So as I was painting, I realized that this paint was going to be a terrible choice on my behalf because this glass was like a sponge with this paint. I would put a layer on and think it's all good, but then once dried, the painting would be looking more transparent than glass. Yes, that makes sense. Have your childhood ruined. After ruining someone's childhood, I started on a coat did. I was quite hopeful starting coat 2, but I wasn't quite filled with joy, but better than dread, I guess. But then, BAM! I did the 3rd layer, then the 4th. Thomas wants to get rid of them blackheads. He's taking care of his skin. That was pretty bad. Thomas want to be getting rid of his blackheads. Look at him taking care of his. Look at Thomas. Wanted to get rid of his blackheads. Good on Thomas. Be like Thomas. I've been here for 30 minutes waiting. It's still very much wet. So I'm going to get the real thing. I said the wrong word there. I'm gonna get the... You know, I'm just gonna make this process go faster. So Google didn't help much. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not an idiot. Then after the course of too long, if you ask me, the silver was finally completed. I kid you not, this was the part that took the longest overall. Then wow, bam, magic, the paint is over the eyes. I totally didn't forget me recorded that part. Ha ha. Now it's time for Thomas's neck. It's probably not called a neck, but I'm gonna call it that. Before I worked on his neck, I had the idea to highlight it on it because it was a good detail in the actual photo and it was quite easy to replicate. So I began with mixing the beige and the black to just get a way better gray than that shirt. And if I learned a thing or two from that one tutorial I watched, it was if you want to do highlights, you should add a layer before the background color.
So, you know, you could see them.
Totally didn't forget to record me painting the highlight part, and I'm just a secret magician who magic did in. Nevertheless, sped through the black. I'm the fastest animal on land, not the cheetah. And finally, after flippity-flopping this thing around and finishing a couple little more details, it was time to finish this painting. Here's me, shiny, wonky, raging Thomas. That's him. And done with this painting I was. Or am. Or was. Because I mean, I finished it in the past, but I'm currently done with it. Because I mean, it's like I'm not working on it now. I'm just gonna stop questioning the English language and add that this was actually quite a fun experience. Almost definitely could have been worse, the end result that is. Funny enough, a good week after my sculpture of Thomas was completed, I saw a sculpture of Thomas at a mini golf course, so I begged my mom to let me have a quick photo shoot there. Here's the photos. I'm not a good model, so don't expect anything good. This is what I worked on my free time in the past week. It's Johnny walking, raging Thomas.
I got nothing else to say.